So, hello again. There has been a question on the channel regarding what's best to do here in Dire Maul East, where we're heading now, whether it's best to herb, to mine, to try to combine them, to focus on the bosses, and my initial answer was that you should focus on mining. Well, since then, the price for the price of dream foil went up, and the price of Chrome's blood went up as well. And when times change, you are kind of supposed to change with them. So what I decided to do was to go in here, try to do a sort of a combo that is herb and mine, and do the normal run and see what happens, see how long it takes, how many runs we can fit in 1 hour by doing this sort of thing without doing anything out of the ordinary, as it were. So I'm still going to be checking for a book here, and yeah, would you believe it, one of them exists. It's always this sort of crap. So boring, I swear. Like, it serves no purpose other than to slow people down for no fucking reason. It's, usually it doesn't really contain anything valuable, just that crap, I guess we could call it. It's funny that someone's actually trying to sell it for 55 gold on the auction house, but, what can you do? And I'm going to try to pick this up as well, but of course this bloody thing will aggro, so what I do is, instead of killing it, which I could very well do, I just reset it, of course, by running through the tunnel and obviously climbing on that broken pillar. It is, I suppose, a bit annoying, but it doesn't really take a very long time to reset that, so I'm gonna try to do it anyway. To be clear, I started without anything, as in no herbs, no mines, sort of a clean, I guess you could call it, inventory. Well, it's not really clean. As you can see, I've got plenty of potions in there and that sort of stuff. But my point is, whatever we've got at the end of this hour will be stuff that we gather in this session. So, I did not start with 200 arcane crystals in my inventory or anything like that. I'm also no longer using Lesser Invisibility Potions. The reason for it is that these things went up in price. I've got about 85 of them, as you can see. 80 of them are listed on the auction house, and they're up to 76 silver each. It's not too much in, operational costs, as it were. As in, if you do 4 runs an hour, which would be pretty good by my standards, you would be paying 3 gold for these things. So you do get more than 3 gold from the satyr bow, for example, if it drops. I'm talking about the vendor price, of course. I'm not talking about selling it to some random warrior or rogue or whatever. So it wouldn't be a big deal, but the question was, I suppose, in the spirit of how can we maximize our income. And because of that, I am going to try to avoid using those potions. 3 gold an hour wouldn't be too bad. It wouldn't be a lot of gold to spend on these runs, but if we can avoid using them, if we can keep our costs down, then, it's even better, I suppose. So I guess let's see how things go. Let's see how many herbs we get in 1 hour. Let's see how many, crystals or sapphires we manage to get. Those are a bit iffy. And to be clear, the reason for doing this stuff, for trying to combine herbalism and mining, is that you can occasionally get a dry spell, shall we say, where you don't really get any gems for 1 hour. And then if you were only focused on mining, if you're only mining the rich thorium veins at the end and not getting any valuable gems, of course, then that kind of feels like a wasted hour. It feels kind of bad, right? You've spent 1 hour and you've got precious little to show for it. Whereas if you at least have some herbs after that hour, it's it's not as bad. We'll see what we're talking about. I also ran a full scan of the auction house just before getting here, just before flying back here. So prices should be updated. I may sort of screw this up. The reason for it is that I'm not using my headset currently. The headset's microphone is kind of bad, so I am forced to use an external microphone. And because I don't have my headset on, I'm not actually getting any sound alerts from the weak aura, that really annoying sound that you may actually hear in the background. I am not hearing it right now, so I may end up getting sacrificed. Hopefully that won't be the case, but it is a possibility. In one of the recent runs, I've been quite unpleasantly surprised by this guy actually aggroing this back somehow. He just walked too close to that satyr, I think. I'm not entirely sure of how that happened, but it did. And yeah, that was quite a screw up. I'm not even using Ice Barrier for that pain, just because this fight tends to leave me out of mana, and since I have to drink after the fight anyway, I might as well, eat and not bother with the Ice Barrier. At this point, to be honest, I don't even know why I bother looting this guy, because it kind of wastes another half a minute or so. And loot is not terribly valuable, like 1.4 gold for this thing, 3.20 something silver for the bow. But yeah, it adds up, and like I said, if we have a really dry spell where we are not getting any sort of arcane crystal, anything like a blue sapphire, anything valuable in short, then we can at least count on vendoring a few things and auctioning off some herbs, I suppose, that sort of thing. So it's not. So the hour is not completely wasted, right? Okay. Here we go. The fat guys are peeing. Go on. Break down the door, please. Again, I am going to try to avoid using Lesser Invisibility Potions, and unfortunately this implies killing the imps. So what that means for me is that runs are going to be a bit longer. You do sort of find yourself forced to reset a couple of times to reset the imps, so that's a bit nasty. Hopefully it will not make our runs extremely long, just a bit longer, but we'll see how that goes, right? Okay, I have to pull this guy before I even get full mana, just because, well, just because he was starting to walk towards the pillar, so no, thank you, no enervate for me. I did get hit by Wither though, so that's always nasty. Dealing with this guy typically takes 2.5 minutes, something like that. Uh-oh. Another enervate, and this time it actually hit me. So I'm just going to pop Evocate right here, right now. Just to counter all that, just to recover all the mana lost to that enervate. So what I try to do, or rather what I will try to do, is something slightly different. Okay, I decided to ice block there just because I had both Wither and Enervate, and yeah, I find them a bit annoying to say the least. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to let the imps get over here, sort of. Just sort of, right? Kill a bunch of them right here if I can. Yikes. Big yikes. That did not go as expected, unfortunately. So I'm gonna let these guys get close, not right next to me, but close. And then obviously I'll head to the reset spot. Unfortunately, I do not have Evocate ready, and of course a new wave of imps just got out of the cave, and I don't think I'm gonna get a chance to drink here. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, because without evocation and without a mana ruby, which I had already used to take down the imps over there, well, you can see how this creates a problem, because I do have to kill some, at least some of these imps. You can see that an arcane explosion costs 390 mana, and I've got, what, 1.5, so I will try to let it get to 1.6, so I can at least do 4 arcane explosions. And let's see how many imps we're able to take out with this thing. Probably not all of them. And yeah, we're now hoping that these guys are going to reset without any further complications. We did take out quite a few imps here and quite a few of them back there. We just need to see whether there are any imps left, if there are any, but there aren't. If there were any left, they would have aggroed when I stepped over that cave line. Now, this is not too good, but it's not too bad. We got lucky there. We just got one arcane crystal. These are currently going for 65 gold. I do actually have one listed on the auction house. You can see that right here, auctions 1, right? So it's something, it's better than nothing, right? And we got a second arcane crystal, so there you go. That's 130 gold right there. And let's see how long this thing took, because I failed to start the timer immediately. Okay, so this took almost 16 minutes. It will take a bit longer for us to actually recover, because after recreating that mana ruby that we just used and switching to ice armor, we are left pretty much out of mana. So the moment we enter the instance, we kind of have to stop and drink, sort of. Not really. You don't really have to fight anything straight away, right? So technically speaking, you could just start going straight away. You do have enough mana for a blink, just to avoid taking fall damage here. But it's not really ideal, right? You normally want to, not have to, you normally want to make sure that you're not walking into a serious issue here, because obviously if you're going to aggro some packs here and you're going to be out of mana, you're not really going to be in a position to deal with them. So if you're the anxious type of player, as in susceptible to anxiety, you probably don't want to do this sort of thing. As for me, I kind of tend to do it, as you can see, just because I'm trying to save a bit of time here and there. Again, I'm mostly aiming to get easy to get herbs. I'm not really trying to get the, let's say, the ones that are guarded by some pack or whatever. But if things don't look too bad, if it doesn't look like it's going to be terribly risky to get a herb, then obviously I will take it. I am once again trying to keep the runtime, let's say, decent. So I'm not, hoping for a new world record or anything here, but I don't want to spend significantly longer than necessary, because obviously that affects the so-called gold per hour thing. The rune cloth I get off these guys just ends up being converted to bandages. I don't really sell them, I just use them during these runs when I have to reset something or whatever. It looks like that may have been the only satyr around here, so that's good. And although we did not start the run by sitting down and drinking, you can see we're actually doing alright mana-wise. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Nothing by the looks of things. Okay, we've got our first satyr right here. And that was a terrible start with a resist, but it happens from time to time. And we are, of course, checking for a second one. Occasionally you do have a second satyr here, as you remember, or at least I think you remember. Let's set that arcane crystal stack there. Okay, we've also got a ghost mushroom. We are going to pick it up just because it's not too inconvenient to get it. One thing that would help a lot with those imps would be getting Blast Wave. But unfortunately this requires 21 points here, which means that if you take Blast Wave, you're not gonna be able to get Ice Barrier. And I kind of think Ice Barrier is far, far more useful, especially on the last boss. So, yeah, no Blast Wave. Although that would be super nice to have for the imps. It's like you do one arcane explosion, one blast wave, and they're pretty much dead. In some cases, if you get lucky with a crit, you might get rid of the imps with a single blast wave. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, I don't think it's worth sacrificing Ice Barrier for it. I would rather just sit there on that ledge when the imps come and just try to, AoE them down and try to take advantage of Ice Barrier during the boss fight as well. So. No, thank you. It really is quite annoying with that sacrifice. Always has been, but yeah. Right, let's see. My guy is determined to annoy me. But he is dead now, and we're gonna take the time to drink for a few ticks just while Hydrospawn is walking away. And of course, having looted the guy, we're heading straight for Ironbark, who should be kind enough to open that door for us. I'm told there is a way to skip this, that there is a way to skip the entire Zebrin thing. So you don't even have to come down here, you can just go straight for the last boss. Basically, I'm told there is a way of skipping that door, sort of like a logout skip, but not a logout skip because that has supposedly been fixed. Hmm. Hmm. Unfortunately, I don't know what that method is supposed to be, and even if I knew, I don't think I would be doing it because I suspect it would be something you could get banned for. So, yeah, right now, all I've got on the matter is a rumor that supposedly people are able to just start the instance straight here in this corridor and just head straight for the final boss. I've not seen it myself, I'm just told it is doable. If it works, then that's definitely super interesting, but I suspect it's also super bannable, so yeah, we are probably not going to find out. Oh man, I forgot to blink. Either that or it was on cooldown, I don't know. But yeah, I did not blink, so I took fall damage there. Great success, right? Okay, let's just get this started because the guy started walking towards the pillar and I do want to get some damage in before he starts his whole wither enervate routine. And of course he did it straight away. Lucky me. Okay, once again he switched to Satyr straight away. Unlucky. And this time I'm gonna try to do something a bit different, as in I'm not going to try to kill those imps here, because even though I killed them last run, you could see that a fairly large number of them were still coming out of that cave. So either there are more waves there and they're not synchronized, or something else was going on. I don't know what. So I am instead going to try to make it the reset spot first, and only then try to deal with the imps. Okay, he is on 58%, so I am going to try to slow down in terms of damage. I don't want to trigger the imp event right now. I do want a chance to bandage first. I don't know if I'm gonna get it because apparently I'm busy failing jumps, but let's see. So we can try to do this. Just ice block here, let them come, freeze them, and then walk away. And if I'm lucky, I will get a chance to drink here when coming out of combat, right? Actually, I am going to move this and just try to spam it using the keyboard. Yeah, so we should get a chance to drink. We are going to be placed in combat here when these guys come, when the imps come. But If you manage to start drinking before that happens, you still regain mana. It's not like that with food. When you're placed in combat, you're kind of screwed. But with drinks, it's absolutely fine. We're gonna check the flower positions, the Fell Lash, Death Lash, whatever. They seem to be fairly, well, quite far away from us, really. So what that means is that we get enough time to take down one pack of imps, and then jump up here before the Fell Lash and whatever the hell this is, another Fell Lash, before they get here and start attempting to nuke us, which would obviously keep us in combat for a long time. Okay, so that appears to have reset. I'm going to walk here to see whether I get placed in combat. I did not, so obviously we're going to go for the rich thorium veins. And that does save us the, lesser invisibility potion usage. So yeah, it saves us 76 silver per run. It's not a lot, but with some of these runs that happen to be quite dry, when you don't get absolutely anything other than thorium ore and dense stone, or you get one of these worthless gems, you can see this is barely worth, well, less than 3 gold, really. So when this sort of thing happens, you kind of feel better about not having wasted 76 silver on it either. We also got a large opal, and this is worth even less, as you can see, 1 gold, 24 silver. But the run took under 15 minutes, and what that means is that with with a bit of improvement, you could still do this 4 times an hour, so you could have 4 runs every hour. Of course, it also depends on how many satyrs you have to kill, whether you have to kill 2 of them or 4 of them, because obviously that will make your runs longer, right? Okay, we're gonna try to take this straight away. As is the case with this dreamfoil node here, or whatever you call it, a flower, a herb, a node, I don't know what the correct term would be for that. There is no book as far as I can see, so there could potentially be another one on the other side, but I don't really bother to check that, like, ever. The chance of actually getting the epic book is very, very low, as I'm sure you know, so because of that, I hardly ever bother to even check whether the book is there or not. And I just settle for pulling the flowers, herbing. In this case, I will be pulling that Lasher pack just because they are guarding that Grom's blood. The other option would obviously be to just ignore them, right? And leave the Grom's blood there. It's not like it's worth 1,000 gold or whatever, but you know, these shouldn't really take a very long time to kill, so this should not prolong the run too much. We did not get anything useful out of here, just some Heart of the Wild crap. I would not get a chance to herb that before the patrol showed up, so I'm just gonna let them walk away. And I will try to go there to the tree afterwards. And of course to continue the run. Yikes. See, that was quite possibly the dumbest move I could have made. I wasn't paying attention. So, yeah, there we are. Fortunately, I did get a chance to freeze them, and what that means is that I should be able to easily reset them here. So we should not have to waste too much time. The only problem is that I've not come across that satyr that I expected to find there, which means that he's either outside the tunnel, possibly patrolling on the grass there, or around here. That's pretty lucky, I think. The guy was right here. Let's see if we even have enough mana to kill him. I may actually end up. Yeah, I am going to use a demonic rune. Might as well. I always grab these things of the satyrs, and I barely ever use them. I've got lots and lots of them, and not much use for them, if I am to be honest. So as you can see, I've got 70 of them on this character, which is, well, quite a lot, really. And I don't think I will ever really use them. I think I will end up rendering them just to free up some space. I got this thing that is probably going to be somewhat valuable in pre-patch, in the TBC pre-patch, but until then it's just going to be worthless, really. And of course, having recovered the mana we wasted, we're just going to keep going. Okay, there is one Shadow Stalker here. And we have dealt with him fairly quickly. These guys have been a decent source of fell cloth. It's not very expensive, but I do tend to mail them to my priest and obviously convert them to mooncloth. I suppose I could also sell quite a few of them because obviously I'm never going to be able to use the mooncloth cooldown before, running out of mooncloth. So that's before running out of fellcloth. So that's not gonna happen. I might as well sell about 40, 50 of them. I don't know. We can add them up to. Okay, we've got a second satyr. We can add them up at the end of the run, see what that's worth in total, I guess. Getting this guy here is slightly unlucky, just slightly. It's not a huge problem, not really. But it does mean that we've wasted 20, probably 30 seconds because we'll also have to sit down and drink. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate. You do want to start these runs. When you start them, you do want to start them with plenty of available bag space. It does fill up quickly, and with plenty of water, so you don't have to always waste even more time on water, on, conjuring drinks or whatever you want to call it. The busiest thing to do in that regard, and it also helps if you're a raiding mage, if you go to Molten Core, to whatever, and people expect you to give them drinks. One thing you can easily do is you can join Alterac Valley, a fresh battle, of course, and just spam create conjure water because it costs no mana in there. You've got about 2 minutes during which you can spam this, and that can be pretty helpful if you're forced to, make like 500 drinks every raid. You can do something similar with this thing. You can just join, like I said, Alterac Valley and immediately start creating a you know, whole lot of drinks. I did not expect to actually have backspace issues in this, let's say, on this mage, just because, when you go with 4 Onyxia backpacks, uh, that's a bit, unfortunate to still have backspace issues, but here we are. I still have them, so. Seriously, man, stop that crap. I guess he doesn't want to stop it, so. Okay, we have dealt with this guy. Let's just quickly try to loot him and get back. And there you are, another rune for us. Pretty good. And we're now about to find out whether there was a satyr around there that we missed or not. Supposedly you can blink through them without getting aggro, but it hasn't worked for me until now. Whenever I try to do that, I end up still getting aggro, so I just decided, you know what, screw it, I will just kill them and forget about it. It just seems a bit easier to do that. And I'm just quickly going to sit down and drink here while this guy pretends to open the way for us. So I also had to wait for this patrol to leave. So, if I'm going to be stuck here, I might as well recover some of the mana. Okay, we've got a red book there. That's always an interesting find, I suppose. The thing about it is that you have to go and check it straight away before the guy moves here, because you can't go and check it afterwards normally. So, and of course, it was just useless scrap. Not even surprised, to be honest. Okay, let's try to get a quick drink and pull straight away because we got unlucky with the positioning of the boss. He started walking towards that thing like straight away. That is pretty unlucky. And to be even more unlucky, we also got hit by Enervate. It's not the end of the world, but it is definitely annoying to have half your mana burned straight away. Mm, Now we also got hit by Wither. Nasty guy, seriously. I'm going to burn Evocate here because screw it. It is very risky to do what I've just done because if this guy hits you, if the wolf hits you, he will place that super annoying debuff on you. A bleed doing lots and lots of damage, but also slowing you down to the point where you can no longer make the jump here. So yeah, not what you want to see. And we've used a bandage just because why not? And we are going to try to trigger this guy when he's down here. Unfortunately, the imps do seem to be taking their sweet time. But whatever, we're just going to patiently wait. It is once again very annoying because I have just used Evo, as in Evocate, and because of that, when I try to reset here, I'm not really going to have a lot of mana. But like I showed the previous run, if you manage to start drinking in that brief moment when you're still out of combat, you will keep regaining mana, right? Even though the imps come back here and place you in combat. Not all of them showed up as far as I can tell. There are some missing imps here. They are supposed to show up any moment now. Yeah, some of them are all the way back there, and I don't know whether the Fell Lash is there or not. I don't think it is. Okay, that was not a wise thing to do. Like, honestly, it may have been the dumbest thing I managed to do around here. I have been forced to use Ice Block again just to wait for this guy to switch forms and hopefully reset. But that's going to be a bit tricky because he can see me now. So that was a major screw up. I fat fingered the blink instead of arcane explosion. Quite embarrassing, really. And this guy should have the decency to reset, but he just seems to be determined to waste my time. So because of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset him again here using the same trick as before. Because if I don't do that, he's just going to keep staring at me like an idiot forever. So I am sort of forced to use this approach. And once again, I am going to try to get a few ticks in drinking and eating. I don't know, I don't think eating is going to work because when you're in combat, health regen from food no longer seems to work as it should, only the troll racial really, so that part is a bit annoying. But that said, I should or could kill some of these guys now. Not all of them, that's kind of impossible, but a few of them. I have to stop because if I try to kill all of them at the same time, these guys they do aggro and they will get close enough, and if you're unlucky and you get the caster type and I can't see the other ones, I can only see that guy over there, then you're kind of screwed, I suppose. Kind of like that. You could see a fell lash coming this way, right? And I would rather not get a death lash and a fell lash coming here and whatever. It's safer, just safer. Unfortunately, it's not faster, but it is safer to just wait for these guys to completely reset, right? To go back there, and then just take a couple of seconds to kill this guy here, because he's the only one left, and a simple combo will get him down. Okay, that went much worse than expected, but it is how these runs go when you decide not to use lesser invisibility potions. So, you know, like I said the last time I recorded this thing, I'm not interested in showcasing absolutely perfect runs where everything is amazing and you get amazing loot and whatever. We are talking about, one run in Dire Maul East, whether it's good or bad or whatever, and seeing what we end up with, right? I think I've only got one run left until we hit the 1 hour timer. It will not be 1 hour on the clock, as it were, but as close as possible to 1 hour. Once again, we got super unlucky. We did get a gem, but it's the worthless kind of gem, like another Bazerotian diamond. We also got a large opal earlier. So although we got lucky in terms of finding gems, we got super unlucky in terms of finding actually useful gems, right? And those resets ended up costing us quite a few minutes, so just something to keep in mind. This is partially why you may be, just maybe, better off just using that invisibility potion, the lesser invisibility potion, because it will save you perhaps 2 minutes per run on average. We're not talking about massive failures here, just regular failures, I guess. And those don't happen all that often anyway. But when they do happen, I would say it works out to something like 2 minutes saved per run on average. So I may actually end up I'm not sure whether that's a good idea, but I may actually end up getting those lesser invisibility potions after all. I am killing this slasher pack here, and the reason for killing it is that there is a Grom's Blood there, but it's not just about that Grom's Blood, it's about the Dreamfoil around the corner that you're not seeing yet, right? You would see it if I hover over the map, like right here. It is guarded by one of those hostile flowers, but when I get back, I will get back using this route here, and I will pull that mob over there, and after pulling it, I will of course grab the herb and be on my way. I'm also getting this rainfall here, and there should be another herb somewhere around here. Yeah, it's straight ahead. And that one is also guarded by a death flash. And the thing is, I don't try to kill it. I just freeze it, slow it with a cone of cold, of course, and then go and reset. That cone of cold should keep it slowed down for quite a while, like 11 seconds or something. And with that, with blink, it kind of buys me enough time to get up here and reset, right? And as long as they can't see me, that guy over there, as long as that guy does not see me, resetting is not going to take a long time. With this guy though, it's kind of different. He will reset in just a few seconds, and because I'm far from him, I shouldn't really have much of a problem. But I am going to kill him anyway, just because I tend to forget that these guys exist, right? When I walk back here through that tunnel. So yeah, I'm better off just killing the bloody guy right now. Okay, okay. I'm gonna do the same thing with that dream foil at the start of the instance. As in, I'm going to Nova the Lash guarding it. I'm going to pick it up, and then I'm going to run and reset. These extra resets, they do add up a bit of time. It's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, they do add up a bit of time. However, if you're looking to make some, extra gold, then you would want to herb. You would not want to skip every single herb that was guarded by, I don't know, a random lash of, I don't know, whatever type, right? Fell lash, death lash, whatever the hell they are, I don't even know. Okie dokie. We've killed this guy. There may, just maybe, another one in the tunnel. We'll find out soon enough. Another thing that you could very easily do here is you could just run the entire instance with mage armor instead, and that may cut down on the downtime, forced downtime, because you're always forced to drink, your mana is always low, and so on. Now, we got very lucky during our first run, and we got 2 arcane crystals, but we got extremely unlucky after that, and we did not get anything even remotely useful, just some random crap like, you know, Bazarothian diamond, large opal, nonsense, in short. Okay. What people like to do in here, some people that I know of, what they like to do is they like to use that engineering helm that you can use to charge someone and stun them for like 30 seconds or whatever, and they like to use that thing to charge, the flowers guarding the dream foil or Chrome's blood or whatever. Obviously that's not an option for me because I don't have engineering on this character, so it's kind of easier to just Nova the bloody flower and herb and then, run away and reset. Come on, brother, just go already. No. Every single run, when I have to deal with this guy, I can't stop but think that I would have been better off rolling a lock. And I screwed that up big time. I got sacrificed. But that's okay. We'll somehow survive this failure as well. Where are you? Come on. Okay, so this part is now done. A few quick ticks, drinking, then we can loot and be on our way. Yikes. Hydrospawn was heading my way. We are going to go over 1 hour, but you know, I don't really mind it. Just because this whole thing, like you can run 3 or 4 instances per hour, this sort of thing would matter if you were either a bot or someone who was making a living out of this thing and was actually doing this sort of thing for 8, 10, 12 hours in a row. If you're more like me, where you don't really do that, but rather you might farm for like 1 hour or something, then I don't think it matters whether it was precisely 1 hour or 70 minutes or whatever. I don't think it's very, very relevant in that scenario. So yeah. Oh, one thing you need to do before doing the sort of stuff I mentioned, you want to make sure that this guy started his animation, because if he didn't, then you risk aggroing this guy when you're herbing here, slowing him down and whatever, but when you reach the door, the guy did not actually open the door, and if that happens, you're going to find yourself in a bit of a pickle, really. I also walked right over that warpwood pod, which was not a great idea, but it doesn't really matter because once we get to the pillar there, we're just going to reset and yeah, who cares, right? Once again, we've got another book, a red book there, but it's probably a worthless piece of crap again. At least I'd be super surprised if it wasn't. So far, I just got some completely random books, like rogue books, which literally nobody wants to buy, just because rogues are running this instance 24/7 as well. So if they want the book, they were probably able to obtain it in the past month or whatever. Okay, so the guy is walking away. We are very quickly going to check that book. Like I said, it's probably worthless. Yeah, it is worthless. And we are going to pull this guy as soon as we've got full mana. At this point, I have to say I can't wait to get the Azure Blade Mage, whatever the hell that thing was called, Mage Blade in short, just because constantly running out of mana, not creating often enough, and so on, can be quite frustrating at this sort of gear level. Right now, I'm still using that Sorcerer's Dagger that I got during some MC Pug at some point, right? So it's not great by any means. Okay, bro, you win. I'm going to use evocation. Fine. Good for you. It is, of course, not how or when you're supposed to use evocation here, but you know, what are you gonna do, right? Okay, let's just try to hide here until the imps show up. And they just did show up, that is. So we are, of course, coming here and we are going to spam our food and drink. I don't expect food to work for more than 3 seconds maybe, but that's good enough. Like one tick is still better than nothing. And we actually just need the mana anyway to deal with the imps, not the food. So yeah, we should be fine. Okay, that's a bit strange. The imps did not come this way for whatever reason. They should have been here by now. And instead they seem to be stuck around that pillar. Come on, guys. Thank you. We should be able to kill a few of them. Yeah. Okay. I think we got all of them. I'm not quite sure, but I think we got all of them here. The thing shooting at me was probably just one of the lashes. Any more imps? No? Okay, perfect. So, yeah, this was the last run. Yeah, you can see this went over 1 hour, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world. In fact, it was quite good. Oh, and there you go. We also managed to get the blue sapphire, and that is 56 gold right there. This is on top of the 2 arcane crystals that we found earlier, right? So we'll see what we end up with in just a moment, because I am going to just head outside of the instance and just go straight to the auction house, I suppose. At this point, I might as well reset this. This one took just over 16 minutes. I will mention it again, we've done this without Lesser Invisibility Potions, which is why this went over 1 hour. Killing those imps 4 times, including a massive failure there, it took a while, right? So, you know, you have to take that into account. Okay, so we are firstly going to rescan the auction house just to, you know, make sure that our estimates are sort of accurate. They're not going to be 100% accurate, but it's something. Okay, so 72 silver for this thing, 1.4, 1.44, whatever. This one we are going to keep. This thing we're going to sell. 140, 140. Okay, that's about 4 gold from trash drops, I suppose. Okay, we've got. Oh, I said we were going to do it and I forgot. So we've got what? 25, I think, 30 or more, some worthless crap. We did, however, get these things. So, this is going for about 15 silver, and this is going for 19 silver. We can smelt it. So, we are talking about 5 gold in thorium bars. You can see that I've got about 1600 of them, which I have mined myself uh, during these runs. Okay, I'm not going to look at that, but I'm going to look at this. So Briar Thorn, as you can see, is very cheap on the auction house, 8.7 silver. Grom's Blood is about 80 silver for one, so this is worth, we got 19, this is worth about, what, 15 gold? Ghost Mushroom is at the moment 54 silver, so that's 1.5 gold, 16.5 so far. This is about 88 silver, so it's not too bad. It's probably 13 gold, so 29 gold. 29 gold in flowers, herbs, whatever. About 4 gold in gray drops and boss drops. So that is 34. I think 34 gold. About 5 gold in thorium bars. We got 25 of them. So we are now talking what I said we had 29 gold. Yeah, 29 gold in herbs, 5 gold in drops, that's 34, 4 gold in random crap. That's 38 gold. 3 gold in fell cloth. That would be 41 gold total. This one I'm not selling, so I'm not gonna count it. 1.24 for this thing and about 6 gold for this, so we're up to what, 45 gold, and we've got 2 arcane crystals, which are worth about 130 gold, and this one is 52 gold, well 53 but whatever. So I guess some guy just bought one of the other crystals. So that's 182 with 38. Yeah, 214 gold using this sort of run. Herbing and mining, that is. I would say it's not bad at all. Obviously, this beats the hell out of, Sulfuric or that sort of crap. Like it's not even in the same ballpark. Let's be let's be honest here. So yeah, over 200 gold in about 1 hour. This, however, I have to say was a lucky hour, like getting 2 arcane crystals and 1 blue sapphire. Mate, that's just not gonna happen every single hour. You are probably going to walk away with 1 arcane crystal every hour, but not 2 of them and the blue sapphire. So overall, with the herbs, with everything else, I would say this would probably give you about 80 gold an hour at this time with the current prices, like for Dreamfoil and for whatever. Now, you may have noticed I've not actually sold the Dreamfoil. I am, in fact, just stocking those things as well, just because I don't like the current price. It's just not good enough. So because of that, what I tend to do is I tend to store materials that I'm going to be selling a bit later, like, large opals, Passerottian diamonds, and whatever else. I just store them on alts, and of course I will sell them, but I will sell them when they're actually worth selling, which is just not the case right now, right? So yeah, that's about it for this video. Yeah, we got super lucky, so over 200 gold that we've made in just over 1 hour. But yeah, this is I think what I'm going to be doing from now on, just because those herbs alone, were worth about 30 gold, right? Just the herbs. So even if you didn't get, because that's what I was talking about at the start of the video, even if you don't get any arcane crystal, any blue sapphire, if you get a super dry spell, at the end of that 1 hour, you would still have made something like 50 gold, like from herbs, plus thorium bars, plus trash drops, plus buff drops. That's pretty much it. You would still walk away with some felt cloth, some grays, some blue items or green items from Zevrim, and yeah, the herbs. So, given the fact that these kind of add up, like thorium bars for 5 gold, the boss drops for 4 gold, trash drops for I think about 4 gold as well. You are still looking at making 50 G an hour if you've got a super dry spell, not finding any arcane crystals or blue sapphires, right? If you do find them, like I just did during this hour, you are looking at about 200 gold per hour. But that is, I think, a terrible, terrible way of explaining this, because when you say that you get 200 gold per hour, that sort of implies that the fact that you're getting it every hour, and I can promise you that's not gonna happen. But you are going to get, I think, at this time between 50 gold and, yeah, who knows, 200, possibly a bit more. Or you might even get 1000 if you get lucky and find the epic book. Yeah, that's it. That's what I am doing now, as in both herbing and mining, trying to combine them to maximize profit and avoiding using lesser invisibility potions. But in all honesty, I don't think this is worth it, because it implies resetting again and again and again, and I feel like I may be better off just eating the loss, as it were, the extra 3 gold an hour from using lesser invisibility potions. I have listed mine on the auction house. If they don't sell, I am just going to use them myself from now on. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time. Right, so Having done that 1 hour run, shall we say, or rather runs in Dire Maul East, herbing and mining, but without Lesser Invisibility Potions, we were looking at what? Let's try to figure that out. So this thing took 16 minutes, this one took 19 minutes and a half. That was the super bad one, where we accidentally blinked instead of running Arcane Explosion. This one took 14 minutes and this one took 15 minutes. So, if with all things considered, that took about 1 hour, and I think, let's see once again. I don't know whether it started. No, I left at 4:11. Yeah, probably, let's say about 1 hour and 10 minutes. So, what I've done was, once again, I've emptied the inventory, but I did mail 5 Lesser Invisibility Potion, a stack of those potions that I had left on the priest. And we're now going to see how much time we can save by using those. So I am once again going to run this for 1 hour. And yeah, let's see what happens, right? That's going to be the only real difference, just using those Lesser Invisibility Potions to see how much time we can save by not having to deal with those annoying little imps. Once again, we are going to herb the 4 nodes here in this garden, I suppose. And obviously, if we come across one, we are also going to herb the ghost mushroom. Those things will really not become valuable for quite a while, unfortunately. But that's okay. We're not in a hurry, as it were, in what concerns that sort of thing. We kind of expected to sort of accidentally pull these guys. It's not the end of the world. It is annoying, especially because we had already lost the shield, the ice barrier, but it's not the end of the world. And at least we got 1 ghost mushroom for our effort, I suppose. There is also another Grom's blood there. And we are, of course, going to try to get that one too. There is a second patrol coming that way, so we're just going to get a few ticks of food and water before heading that way to grab the Grom's blood. These things, well, I did gather quite a few of them. Let's see, I've got what? 436 of them, apparently. I've not sold any of them, just because 80 silver, which is what I would get for them right now on the auction house, is not particularly tempting. I think I may actually be better off holding on to these and selling them much later. Either during NAX, when I don't think anyone's really going to bother with these things, or perhaps even in Burning Crusade. These things are part of a recipe for, I think it's called Demon Slaying Elixir, or something like that. And those are going to be particularly valuable for a few classes. hunters, for example, in fights that concern demons, and with Burning Crusade being, well, full of demons, really. So think, Illidan, Brutalus, that sort of thing. Some classes will actually prefer to use the demon slaying elixir rather than the flask of whatever the hell that is. The attack power flask. These will be far more powerful, but of course they will not last through death, and they only last for, I think, 5 minutes or so. So a lot of people are going to want to use them later on. I don't know what sort of price tag these will have in Burning Crusade. It's just not possible to even guess that at this point, especially on this server. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be over 80 silver, right? Because of that, I'm not really interested in selling the Grom's Blood right away. Dreamfoil, on the other hand, because we are also gathering Dreamfoil, this is something that I may use for flasks for myself, or I may sell once again later down the line in NAC. Or perhaps I will use it to create greater nature protection potions in AQ. So this one will not see the pre-patch or Burning Crusade, but the Grom's Blood most definitely will. We are getting poisoned, yeah. Kind of expected that, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. We did have to sit down and drink anyway, so it's not a problem. This time I did get a bit unlucky here, getting 2 satyrs here and so on, so obviously that did waste quite a bit of time. But, it's fine. Okay, no ghost mushroom there. We're just going to pull and kill this guy. We did get a couple of crits right from the pull, so that's pretty nice, but unfortunately Pyroblast was not one of them, and obviously a Scorch crit is, well, it just doesn't hit as hard, right? So without the Lesser Invisibility Potion, I think we were averaging around 16, maybe 16 minutes and 16 and a half minutes for a run. And yeah, let's see what that looks like when we're using these, just to try to get an idea of whether it's actually worth using them. Now, I am able to create them myself. I do have an alchemist and I do have the recipe, of course. But what I don't have is, well, I don't have the reagents like Wild Steel Bloom and I think it's Fade Leaf, can't even remember. It obviously cuts down on the cost if you can craft them yourself, but it's still not it's not free, as it were. And these are a few things that I did not stock up, like I could have, but I didn't, so, you know. And it's kind of too late to start doing that now, not to mention that I don't actually have the bag space anyway. Not even on alts, they're all full at this point. Okay, that's a bit unlucky. I ran out of mana there. That's okay. We'll just try to wend a bit until we get enough mana to kill this guy. Okay, that's even more unlucky. He resisted that final hit. But yeah, that's fine, I suppose. One thing that's really going to improve my time spent per run is going to be getting a weapon upgrade, Azure Sunk Mage Blade. When I get that and enchant it, because I do have the enchant materials in the bank, it's going to be quite an upgrade over this thing, and it will, I'm pretty sure it will help me cut down the runtime by probably 1 minute or so. Mm. And we start drinking here just because, you know, we are forced to wait. This guy does need a few moments to, well, to open, shall we say, the door for us. Another thing that I was considering doing was buying materials for swiftness potions and using a swiftness potion every time I get through that door. It would also shave maybe 15 seconds, maybe. But I'm just not convinced that paying 10 more silver for that is actually worth it. It's not like, 10 silver is a super high price or anything, but at the same time, the benefit is, well, it's just not something you would be very impressed with, right? Like, oh my god, the run was 15 seconds shorter, totally worth the money, right? Okay, we got precisely 0 crits there. Unlucky. And I tried to avoid that wither, but the cast timer is, well, it makes it a bit difficult to avoid it from certain spots. That one, on the other hand, we did manage to avoid, so we've got that going for us. Boom, boom. Let's see. So because I am no longer going to be dealing with the imps, that may actually cut down on the time quite a bit, because I don't have to keep rocking this guy back and forth all the time, right? Um, okay, let's do this. Just gonna wait for them to show up here, including the lashes. And of course, afterwards, we're gonna try to freeze them. And even though we got dazed, we don't actually care because we are just going to pop the potion here in that second of being out of combat. Come on, guys. All right, so here we are. The imps should be on their way back into the cave, and they should be getting the hell out of here pretty soon. They did, so yeah, we're fine. Mining these things also takes a bit of time. So even though we finished, even though we reset the final boss before the 14 minutes mark, the run is still going to take 15 minutes or maybe even longer. Okay, super unlucky, a huge emerald. This is only worth like 1.5 gold at this time. So we did get a gem, but we got a super shitty gem. Only two of them are currently valuable on my realm, and that is, of course, those are, of course, the arcane crystals and the blue sapphires. Everything else, like star ruby, huge emerald, large opal, Azerothian diamond, they are kind of worthless. They will be selling for a bit more in the pre-patch, in the Burning Crusade pre-patch, when people are going to be leveling jewel crafting, but just a bit more, not a whole lot more, you know. So yeah, I will be I will be keeping them until then, just because, you know, what else am I gonna do with them? But yeah, it's kind of super unlucky when you hear that gem sound, and it turns out that it's just a huge emerald or a large opal or some crap like that. The worst of the bunch at the moment is the Star Ruby, like 50 silver. It's just sad when you get one of those. But what can you do, right? Okay, quickly checking for the book, which isn't here, of course. But we did get a bunch of whiplashers by not paying attention to that warp pod. So here we are, wasting even more time. On the other hand, the layout, the spawns for the Grom's Blood and the Dream Foil are pretty good. What's not so good is the fact that the patrol is coming this way, just as we were looking at running to that Dream Foil and obviously herbing. So that once again meant that we lost quite a, or rather wasted quite a few seconds there. But it is what it is. Not every run is going to be perfect, and you're not going to get super lucky with timers. I'm referring to the patrol, of course, and with node spawns and whatever. As you can see, that book I mentioned, we did get quite a few of them, and they all expire. Nobody wants to buy them. I'm just going to have to destroy the bloody thing. Can't even vendor it, I think. So, yeah. A bit unfortunate. at the same time, you always want to check those books because you do have that super super tiny chance of getting the epic book, and if you do get it, well, that's 900 gold right there. So this entire instance really seems to be a very very convoluted slot machine, as it were. Pull the lever, maybe you win, maybe you get nothing, that sort of thing. We did get a ghost mushroom there, so these are not valuable at this point. They're only worth, like I showed you, like, I don't know, 54 silver, or what was it? Yeah, 54 silver on the auction house. So, kind of lame. I am fairly certain that they will become more valuable later on. But as things are right now, they're just not that great. We do need to check here, and yeah, there was another Shadow Stalker there, as expected. Okay, I suppose. I decided to rebuff there, so that's why we are currently kind of out of mana. I do, of course, have the Arcane Brilliance buff, so I could use that. Maybe I should use that. In fact, starting next run, I think I'm going to keep going with Mage Armor and no longer use this other thing, Ice Armor. Just because I'm curious, I would like to see if it ends up taking less time with that thing on. A lot of, if you were to break down the run here into, smaller pieces, you would have the first part, which involved, um, which involves getting the herbs. Then you have a second part, which is killing between 2 and 4 satyrs. And then you've got the third part, which involves killing this guy. And finally, the fourth part, dealing with the last boss, getting it down to 50%, right? Well, the thing is, I'm not seeing a lot of options to improve the time, the runtime with the current gear, just because the first part, well, there's not much I can improve there, right? You're talking about running around, trying to herb the Dreamfoil and Grom's Blood, but sometimes I mean it's a matter of luck, because sometimes some of those are going to be guarded, and you're going to have to maybe take down a Lasher or something. Some other times they're not exactly in your way. Some other times you wanna get them, they're not guarded, but the Frogger pattern, the patrols are, coming towards it, and you have to wait, delay, and so on. So it depends on luck more than on individual skill. And because of that, I don't feel like there's a whole lot that I could be doing to improve my time, right? Okay. This is another sort of unlucky thing where I wanted to blink through before he got close to me, close enough to get aggro, but I couldn't. And well, apparently, I don't actually know whether this is accurate, but apparently we just got a Libram, whatever of focus, and this, according to what I'm seeing here, sells for 81 gold. I don't actually remember which enchant this is supposed to be a part of, like Arcanum of who the hell knows, right? But I am going to list it on the auction house and see what we can get for it. Of course, I will only do that at the end, once 1 hour has passed. But it is interesting because I hadn't even noticed the drop initially. And right now, I honestly can't remember what the hell this is used for. I mean, I know it's one of the enchants, Arcanum of whatever, but I can't remember what it does. It would be hilarious if it turned out to be the mage enchant. I'm not actually using that sort of thing, like my gear lacks the head and leg enchants. I am not feeling particularly motivated to use them. The cost is well too high for what it is. Like, people are asking for upwards of 150 gold, and I'm like, bro, this is not the ZG enchant that would at least give me +1 hit and whatever. This is some random piece of crap that gives me, I don't know, 8 spell damage or something. And don't get me wrong, that's nice if you're trying to parse, but as you can see, if you look up my name on Warcraft logs on Anniversary, I'm parsing something like 70 whatever, just because I'm not using a flask. I've not even enchanted my weapon, like I don't have 30 spell power on it. And it's not that I'm a noob or a slacker or whatever, it's just that at this point I honestly feel that it's fucking ridiculous to even seriously think about parsing in fucking molten core and whatever. I know it sounds like an excuse, and I guess you're welcome to think of it that way. But I just can't be bothered with it, man. It's like I'm not farming for 1, 2, or 3 hours in here to get an extra 8 damage on my fucking legs or helm or whatever. I get why some people are doing it, and I am definitely not blaming them for it. But at the same time, I'm in a sort of a can't be bothered with that mood. And the same thing applies, in a way, I guess, for my weapon enchant. Like, I do have the mats for it, and I am going to apply it, but I'm only going to apply it on a weapon that kind of feels like it deserves an enchant, whether that's Azure Song Mage Blade or the rank 14 weapon, whichever I get first. I don't know, but I'm not using that on Sorcerer's Dagger from MC. It's like, even if I had double the amount of gold I've got, I still would not bother with that crap. It's just fucking ridiculous to me, sorry. Oh shit, I think the imps are coming, yeah. And I just used my ice block. That was not a very wise move, to be perfectly honest. I was trying to get rid of that enervate, and I did, but oh well, I don't think it actually matters, to be fair. With or without it, I was still gonna pop this thing here, so it's like, whatever, man. Come on, come on guys, reset already. Thank you. It's interesting that these are counted as wipes, you know, resetting the boss. So I have 173 wipes, as it were, on this difficulty. It's nice that, you know, the add-on keeps track of how many times you've run this. Ooh, and the blue sapphire, 52 gold. Now this is a very, very good run. Like 81 gold for a Librum of Focus, 53 gold for a blue sapphire. Yeah, that is... ah, damn. That's an Azerothian diamond. Not what I was hoping for sure. But it is what it is. And this one took 14 minutes and 21 seconds. And of course we've reset it, and we're going to be heading straight back inside. Okay, we got pretty nice starting pattern for Dreamfall and Grom's Blood. They're both just sort of unguarded. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. Free Dreamfall, free Grom's Blood. Yeah, not going to complain too much. This thing is kind of dangerous. You normally want to avoid to wait for that patrol to pass before you come this way, but whatever. And we are somewhat unlucky here, apparently. Let's see where the herbs are, because they weren't this way. Okay, one of them is over here and one of them is over there. One of them is guarded. The Grom's Blood is unguarded, so we're going to quickly grab this one. And if we want the dream foil, and we do, we are going to have to pull that back over there. They are sort of guarding that dream foil. So, yeah. And like I said, we are going with mage armor for the entire run, just to see what happens in terms of time that we can save here, sort of. I forgot to loot? No, I didn't. It's just... okay. We're also getting the Dreamfoil. Only two of them in this one, but it's fine. And yeah, I'm gonna sit down and drink, something I've not done since I started the instance. But AoEing those things down, the whiplashers, does kind of drain the mana, so here we are. Okay, actually, we don't need full mana just to proceed. Let's see if there's a satyr here. Nope. Okay, we've got a ghost mushroom here, and the satyr is probably patrolling just past this pillar here. At least I think he is, yeah. Miriam. The downside of using mage armor is that obviously we are going to be taking a lot more damage from melee hits, but at the same time we don't really have to kill a lot of satyrs, just a few, I guess. So that's fine. The poison is, of course, annoying. It slows your movement speed by 66%, but you can just use the time to sit down and drink. You do have to recover your mana somehow. It's what I do at every single forced break, as was the case now with this guy who was just patrolling towards me. And it's something I will be doing here as well, because he's blocking the way, right? Another thing you may want to do is to try to recast your buffs during these forced breaks, because, you know, what else are you gonna do? We are looking for the Shadow Stalker, the first one that's supposed to be around here, but yeah, we've not found him yet. There you are. And if we're lucky, this one is going to be the only one. If we're unlucky, there will be another Shadow Stalker at the end of the tunnel. I suppose we'll find out, right? Come on. Yeah. And it may actually be a better idea to not rush forward like I'm doing now, but rather to sit down and drink in case you just accidentally run into a second Shadow Stalker. But we didn't, so I suppose it's fine. We are quickly going to drink here. We should probably make use of evocation right here at this point to save like 10-15 seconds. But I was already on half mana, so I figured, you know, maybe I'm better off just saving it for the last boss after I kill it, you know, quicker regen, whatever, where I can get more out of that cooldown. And just like I said in the previous segment, the previous 1 hour segment, I'm playing without a headset at the moment. So I'm not hearing any sort of alert, especially the sacrifice alert. You will be hearing it, but I would not. So, yeah, once again, I may end up getting sacrificed here. So, this is what I mean. A lot of time spent in this instance is what I would call dead time, where you don't really have much that you could do to improve. Like, you can't make this guy come down the stairs faster, or, well, not down the stairs, but through that tunnel, you know what I mean. And you can't do much about how often he attempts to cast his stupid sacrifice thingy, like now, right? And I got a bit unlucky there. Where's this guy? And this is even more unlucky. Hydra Spawn was just patrolling this way, so a few more seconds we had to waste because of that. It's not the end of the world, but it's, that's what I am talking about. There is a lot of time you spend in here ends up being wasted time just because you got a bit unlucky. And I don't necessarily mean sacrifice, although that is unlucky as well, as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of times it seems to sort of be a spell batching thing, because you're out of line of sight, but you still get sacrificed. However, you have no control over how many times this guy tries to cast sacrifice, and because of that, there's very little you can actually do about it. And it's the same with every other segment of this run, if you think of it in, in those terms, segments. You can't do anything about a random Dreamfall thing being guarded by some whiplashers or whatever. There's just there's nothing you can do. You either kill them and then you get that thing, or you don't kill them, you save some time, but then of course you don't really get anything to show for it. Okay, and this was just me being blind as fuck, in short, because this was not supposed to happen, and it did. I am going to manage to reset him, that's not a big deal, but once again, I'm wasting precious seconds here. I thought I was blinking past him, but I kind of blinked straight into him. Clearly what I would call a skill issue, right? He's too close, so I don't have time to bandage. So I had to take a bit of fall damage there, but it's fine. Or rather, it should be fine. By the way, if this ever happens to you, if Hydrospawn aggroes, don't try to come here to reset, because he's just gonna kill you. He's gonna stand somewhere here, he will be able to see you, and he does have that geyser attack that knocks you back and whatever. So instead of doing that, try to do this, try to reset here, where I just reset this guy. I wasn't, running that way because I panicked or whatever. I knew exactly what to expect. So yeah, if this sort of thing happens to you, don't try to reset here because you're just going to die. Just do what I did there. Take him back to Zevrim's room and then jump from the ledge there to the ledge below where he can't see you. If he doesn't have line of sight, then he's unable to cast that geyser thing. And what that means is that eventually he will reset. Don't get me wrong, I've still wasted my time here, so that's easily 1 minute wasted on this guy, more than 1 minute, 1 minute and 11 seconds apparently. But, it's it is a bit unfortunate. I should sort of try to subtract that from this thing, but I'm not gonna do it this time. I should do it in order to have a fair comparison to the other runs when it comes to deciding whether it's worth using Lesser Invisibility Potions or not. But, I think you're perfectly able to sort of decide for yourself based on what you're seeing and based on how things go for you. Okay. We've got this, and I'm just waiting for a new ice barrier before I jump down. And of course for full mana. Right, so here we are. And because he just walked over there, I will get enough time to cast a Pyroblast. So hopefully more damage on pull. Sadly, that did not crit, neither did the Scorch or the Fireball, but, you know, we're not exactly counting on that. That's the second Wither, I think, that we get hit by. And this one's the third, like, this is already a horrible, horrible run. But that's okay. We'll survive. I may take the time to use one bandage when he's doing this whole back and forth thingy, right? Yeah, I am actually going to do that right now. He knocked us back all the way from Narnia, so... And that is another Wither, a fourth one this time. Like, this is ridiculous. I am... This is the worst run so far. Like, it couldn't have been much worse. Okay, and now the guy decided to hit us all the way from the ledge with that bleed that also slows you down. Super. And I was just saying how this run could not have been worse. And Alzin was like, Rennie, hold my beer, mate. I think I'm just gonna stop here, wait for him to show up along with his friends. And yeah, just sit in a nice block until they all gather up nicely. All right, now that is absolutely fucking disastrous. Like, I've not had this sort of bad luck ever, ever. Like, I got hit by, I think, 4 withers. I got hit by the bleed and slow, forcing me to use an ice block. And then I got dazed there. And yeah, I know I could have just frozen the imps and I could have jumped earlier. And after getting dazed, I was on like no HP at all, and that may have had something to do with using mage armor there. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. But at the same time, this sort of thing has never ever happened to me. Like, having this sort of super, super, super unlucky run. Like, it's completely fucking ridiculous. Okay. Well, that's gonna fuck up the timer quite a bit. But, you know, it is what it is. These things do happen. So, I guess you just take the loss and move on. Fortunately, I've already spawned the imps, so I'm not gonna have to engage the boss again, but the imps will aggro me, so I think I will have to reset using the Lesser Invisibility Potion. It's also possible, just possible, that they've run away. I don't know, because I don't really wipe here, so I have no idea of what to expect, to be honest. I suppose we'll find out in a moment. A very long moment, because with this being classic, corpse runs actually take time. They weren't very good when they were making this game, but one thing they were really good at was wasting your time. And I'm pretty sure that was intentional. Like, I don't think this is, an accident. And I do know all that stuff about how, oh my god, older MMORPGs were far, far more punishing. You were losing XP when you were dying, and blah, 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 blah. Who the fuck cares? Those older MMORPGs being even worse do not make this any better, you know what I mean? It's the same old thing with you've got to eat your asparagus because things could be worse. Children in Africa are dying. Like, yeah, okay, but that does not make this shit taste any better or have any taste actually. um, okay, so those guys are right there, but I'm pretty sure that when I try to get there to the reset spot or to the cave, I'm pretty sure that they will aggro and I will probably have to reset them using a potion. I'm not 100% sure though. I think that's what's gonna happen. What's going to happen, that is, but I'm not really sure about it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, they did aggro like straight away. Okay, the problem is not with the imps, the problem is with these guys over here, and I don't know whether I'll get a chance to use the Lesser Invisibility Potion. I may actually have to kill the imps, because they can see me here. Oh no, it looks like I did get a chance to use it. And that's fine, I suppose. It's funny because as soon as you get close to the cave, you get aggro, but once you're in the cave, you no longer get aggro. Well, that's good at least. We've got, I think, 3 nodes, and this one. Ooh, and that is another blue sapphire, my friends. Another 53 gold right there. And that is always welcome, of course. Unlucky. We got a huge emerald, which is actually a huge piece of worthless shit, because, yeah, below 1.5 gold, so... Well, it doesn't happen all that often, getting 2 gems, 2 good gems in one run, so it is what it is. Okay, we fucked up this one, or well, I fucked up this one big time, as you can see by the timer. But again, it is something that you have to sort of expect, that sometimes things are just going to... Well, shit is just going to happen, in short. Things are not going to go as well as you might have expected. The that death on the last boss was not just super unexpected, it was also absolutely terrible, and I should have avoided it. I am going to avoid the ice block thing there. But this time I did get super unlucky. Like, I got hit by that stupid shit, by the bleed slow effect when Alzin is in his wolf form. And that forced me to use ice block, the first ice block there, because without it I would have just been dead. I wouldn't have been able to make the jump. Where the hell is the... Okay, it should be that way. So we've got the Grom's Blood over there, and we've got, I think on this occasion they are both guarded by Whiplashers. I'm not 100% sure, but I am. It is what it looks like to me at this time. And this is going to be the last run. Ironically, this thing will have taken longer than doing the run without without Lesser Invisibility Potions. But I'm not gonna pretend it didn't happen. I'm not gonna try to make it look good. I screwed it up properly, and yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, the other one is guarded as well by this other pack of Whiplashers, and this will also cost some extra time here. And I fat fingered that like a proper man. On the other hand, it did give us another Grom's Blood, that pack of Whiplashers that is, so I suppose we can't complain too much. I am going to pop evocation here because I am 100% sure that we will go over 1 hour once again. And yeah, that's not fun. It's kind of unfortunate, but at least now I know what to expect when I wipe on the last boss. Hopefully that's not gonna happen all that often. And we also got slowed by this guy. Once again, not particularly great, but whatever. How about that, bro? Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. This part of the second segment, where you would be killing satyrs, is once again a matter of luck. Whether you get one guy, whether you get two of them, you don't really have a lot of control over this stuff. You can skip this guy by blinking on the left-hand side of that pillar, so you don't absolutely have to kill him. But that's what I am talking about. You don't really have a lot of control over whether you get two satyrs here, two satyrs there, or just one. And of course, having to fight them means that you have to sit down, drink, eat, all that stuff. So that too adds a lot of time to your runs. Warlocks have the winning hand here as well, because what they do is they just enslave one guy and they get him to fight another guy, basically kill each other, and yeah, that sort of helps a lot with the amount of time they have to spend. Having tested this mage armor thing, I'm not particularly impressed with it, and my conclusion is that I'm probably better off just using ice armor until I get to the second boss and mage armor after that. Your experience may be a bit different here, I guess, but that's what it looks like to me. It looks like I'm taking not just more damage, because that's something I expected, but significantly more damage. So I guess you could always use one of those, what's it called? Elixir of defense or something similar. You know, the elixir, the potion, whatever the hell it is, that increases your armor. And perhaps even Troll's Blood, Major Troll's Blood, whatever potion. But when you, let's say, go down that road, when you start using a bunch of elixirs and potions and whatever, like those two for defense here, a swiftness potion to run through the tunnel after Ironbark opens the door, and God knows what else, like limited invulnerability potion and I don't know, other stuff, then you kind of start spending too much gold on this crap, and I don't think it's worth it. Like at this point, I think I'm better off just running this in 16 minutes without any other potions. The lesser invisibility thing is, I think, the only one that may be worth using, at least for me, just because dealing with those imps is utter bullshit. I can kill them. You've seen that in the previous 1 hour segment. I am going to try to combine them to edit this in a way that combines these two things. Bro, excuse me, but seriously? How about you just go back that way and leave me the fuck alone? Thanks. You do have to sort of face tank a few hits when he does this sort of thing, just because you don't have a lot of room around here. There's not a lot of room. If you keep moving, you will aggro some guys, so you kind of have to take a few hits. And of course, in the of course, in the 1 second when I was actually yawning at this thing, that's exactly when he just had to cast Sacrifice. Alright, mate, alright. And of course, I'm now trying to finish this guy, and obviously, he just had to start spamming Sacrifice again. Like, yeah, maybe I'm just tired because I've just finished recording another 1 hour segment before I started this one. So maybe that is the problem and not anything else. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Once again. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm just tired. Okay. Come on, my man. Reset. There's no way for you to hit me. Hmm. Okay, that's enough, I think. I don't need full life and full mana just to make it to the other end of this garden. But that right there, that Hydrospawn aggro thing, that is a perfectly valid reason to carry swiftness potions with you. Like, even if you don't need or want to use them for this thing here, for running through this corridor, um, if you ever need to reset Hydrospawn, those things will be extremely, and I mean extremely useful. And of course, you've got the typical run where a rogue is trying to hard reserve the main hand sword. Like, at this point, Blackwing Glare is almost out. It's not out yet, but it's almost out. And these fuckers are still going ahead with their bullshit, attempting to reserve the main hand. And of course, they need healers and they need a key as well, because of course you want to reserve things, but you don't even have the key, right? That makes sense. But apparently, if you disagree with this, you're a moron because it doesn't concern you. Just don't join it, make your own run, and so on. I mean, of course, it doesn't fucking concern me because I don't really have a lot of use for that sword on my mage. But yeah, and of course, he is going to be at this for a while. Oh, we've got the satyr again. Okay. Let's try to avoid getting hit by every wither and enervate. Well, can't do much about the wither, but perhaps I can at least avoid getting hit by enervate. We'll see. Still unable to avoid the wither. Oh, is it 50% already? Yeah, it is. Okay, so being the last run, I am going to use that gem, and I have used the armor, as in the ice armor. Oh no, I've not. I've used them. I've used mage armor. That's silly, but whatever. Okay. And we are going to reset now. thanks to that terrible, terrible, terrible run that I had just before this one, we went well above the 1 hour mark. But it is what it is. And I suppose we'll see what we got, and we can try to compare how long it took for a normal run, not the screw up we had earlier. I think this only has 2 nodes, which is kind of unfortunate, but what can you do? Okay, that was the second rich thorium vein, and we got nothing. Fine, sure. So this has been the second hour, as it were. Well, not really. It's been an hour and 9 minutes, but you know what I mean. And let's see what we got, right? I can stop that timer. This run took 17 minutes. I did get one sacrifice, I think. Not sure. Apparently I've got the mail. Oh yeah, the arcane crystal has sold. That's nice. Okay, so let's see. We are currently at 29.56, so we're going to sell crap. And that was 13.5 gold in, well, in crap. Stuff we didn't actually need. Okay, in terms of thorium, we've got 36, and that's about 7.2 gold. Let's say 7 gold. So 20 gold, thorium, and vendoring the crap we got. This is about 10.5 gold. So for the Grom's blood, that is. So that puts us to what, 30 gold, I think. And this would put it at about 42 gold, 44 gold with these things. 47 gold. Let's say 47, maybe 48 with this other stuff here. That's 4 gold as well, so 52 gold for the free, adding the free fell cloth. I am not counting the room cloth. It's kind of stupid to do that, I think. And that was 48. This is supposedly free gold, 51. This would be 104, so I guess 155. And this would be apparently 81 gold. So we are actually looking at 230 gold. The ones we listed from the previous segment have apparently already sold, so that's the thing with this sort of farm. You don't even get, by the time you've got... Oh, what happened here? Why are prices lower? Oh, someone listed one of these things for 50 gold. Right. Well, no, we're not actually going to do this. We're going to do this instead because we are not actually desperate to sell right now. We don't care. And we're not selling these right now. Yeah, that's fine. We'll see whether those things sell. I have no reason to think that they won't. So, you know. Um, how I'm now unable to type. That's amazing, I guess. But yeah, this worked out to about 230 gold for this hour, but that includes the Libram, whatever of focus. Not too bad. As for the runs, these took 15 minutes, 14 minutes. That was a screw up, and this contained a bit of a screw up. So 14 to 15 minutes for a normal run. So I would say that based on that, using Lesser Invisibility Potions cuts down the time spent by 1 minute per run, so 4 minutes every hour, I guess. Is it worth using them? Well, given the fact that even without that Libram of Focus, we were still around 150 gold for that hour. I think we can afford to spend 3 gold per hour on the Lesser Invisibility Potions, so I think I will actually use them again. Okay, that's the conclusion here, I guess. Hopefully you found some of this stuff useful. See you around.